In this video, we're going to UV the wires. It's going to be a very simple process. We just have a lot of wires to UV. Let's first select all the wires. And once we have them all selected, press Ctrl 1 to isolate select. With everything still selected, assign UV grid texture material. And we're going to UV the largest wire first, so we'll get it out of the way. So let me run through the steps that we're going to use to UV every single wire. Select that wire, switch over to face component mode, and double click to select every single face. Then we want to project on X or Z. And in this case, for this wire, I'm going to project on X, but Z would also work. Now we want to select an edge along which we'll have a texture seam, and this edge of course should be somewhere away from the player. And I'm going to select the edge that's up against the wall. So switch over to edge component mode, double click on an edge along which you would want to make a cut. Double click and we'll select all continuous edges. And then inside UV editor, choose cut. Switch over to UV component mode, double click to select all of the UVs, and run unfold. Then straighten shell. We will have slight distortion and stretching right here in the corner at the 90-degree turns, but it's going to be so minor and occupy such a small UV space that the player is not going to be able to tell. Then for last step, set textile density. And we're done UVing the wire. Move it out of the way, and these are the steps we're going to use for every single wire. So I'm going to quickly run through the steps and UV all the wires. Selecting the faces, projecting on X, Y, or Z, choosing an edge where I want to make a texture seam, make a cut, unfold, straighten shell, and set textile density. Then move it out of the way and move on to the next wire. And this is incredibly fast, especially for some of the more complex wires that wrap around the building. And with the updated editing tools that were introduced, I believe in Maya LT 2016, in one of the updates, UVing this becomes almost effortless. While before you really had to spend a lot of time unwrapping similar objects like the wires or pipes. And these are the same steps you could apply, and we did use when we were unwrapping electrical pipes. And it's really incredible how fast we're going through these when it used to take much longer. So we just have a few more wires to go and we'll be done. And here we are. All of our wires have been UV'd. Select all the meshes and let's delete history. Now we need to arrange all of our shells so they're more organized. The largest wire we have, its UV shell, takes up a lot of space. It's very long. So to deal with this, we're going to split this one UV shell into multiple UV shells. To do this, go inside Perspective Viewport, switch over to Edge Component Mode, and select the edges where you would want to make a cut in order to split the UV shells. So I'm going to choose an edge ring right above this awning. And then inside UV editor, make a cut. Then we can select the shell and reposition it. It's still fairly long, and we'll probably make a few more cuts and stack a few of these UV shells together on top of each other. But for right now, we're gonna call it done. Select all the objects in the scene. This way we can see all of the UVs. Then select the wire UVs and position them right here on the bottom of our temporary UV layout. And we are now done with the wires.